In the last class, we have discussed about the record formats, which are the record formats that can be used in SIC assembler. That is header record, then text record and end records. So the header record, the first letter will be H, and the next columns 2 to 7 will be used for specifying program name. Columns 8 to 13 specifies the starting address of the object program in hexadecimal, and the column 14 to 19 specifies the length of the object program in bytes. That is also specified in hexadecimal. Then another type of record is text record. Here the first column contains letter T, then 2 to 7 that specifies the starting address of the object code in this record. Then columns 8 to 9 length of the object code in this record in bytes. Then columns 10 to 69, that is the actual object code represented in hex. That is 2 columns per byte. Then end record. In the case of end record, the column number 1 contains letter E, and columns 2 to 7 that will gives the address of the first executable instruction in object program. This is about the format or format of different records in an assembler. Okay, and if you are considering the text record, the columns for specifying the or storing the actual object code, they are from column number 10 to 69. That is, there are total 60 columns for storing the object code. So how many bytes can be stored then? 30 bytes can be stored by using these 60 columns, because 2 columns per byte. So the maximum length of object code that can be stored in a text record is 30 bytes. If we have more than 30 bytes object code, then we have to split that record into 2 or more based on the length of the machine code. And this was one example for a complete object program with a header record and a number of text records and a end record. Then which are the functions performed by the 2 passes of an assembler? So in pass 1, that is define symbols that will assign addresses to all statements in the program. Then save addresses assigned to all labels for use in pass 2. Perform assembler directives or the operations corresponding to assembler directives, including those for address assignment such as byte and reserve word. In pass 2, assemble instructions and generate object program. That is, assemble instructions and generate opcode and lookup addresses. Generate data values defined by byte, word, etc. Perform processing of assembler directives not done during pass 1. Write object program and assembly listing. Here the assembly listing means some information that will be helpful for the programmer during debugging purpose. There is some information about the source lines or assembly language program that will also be there along with the output of the object along with the assembler output. So that will be helpful during debugging purpose. That is the assembly listing. Then which are the data structures used by the assembler? So the main 3 data structures are optab, symtab and location counter. So optab means operation code table, symtab is symbol table, and loctr means location counter. So this is our some how they are communicated with each other. So this is our source program. So pass 1, pass 2, then object code, and this forms our assembler that uses location counter, optab and symtab or symbol table. So The source program is first given into pass1. So the pass1 will generate an intermediate file that contains actually the source program itself, but some extra line number and some error flag indication, like that. Some information will be added to the source program, and that file will be used by pass2. So the pass2 can be done in an easy manner, because some information will be there within the intermediate file along with the source program. Then the during this pass1, that will use the location counter and also op tab and symbol table. Similarly, pass2 will use symbol table and op tab and all these things. An output of the pass2 will be object code along with the assembly listing. So that will be helpful. This listing will help the programmer during debugging purpose. So the intermediate file include each source statement, assigned address and error indicator. That is actually the intermediate file, the content of the intermediate file. Then operation table or op tab, that contains the mnemonic operation codes and corresponding machine code. Then this will also contain length of the instruction and also instruction format. Normally it will be implemented as a static table, array or hash table. Location counter, this will help, this location counter will help to assign addresses to labels. The assignment, that will help in the assignment of addresses. That will be initialized to the beginning address specified within the start statement. Then normally location counter, new value of the location counter will be current value plus the instruction length. The current value of the location counter gives the address to the label encountered. Then symbol table, that will stores the label name and the label address. Similarly, the type of that particular label, length, flag, etc. Mainly the address is the main information, address corresponding to a particular label or symbol. Sometimes in some cases that will store the error conditions, that is used for that error conditions will be stored with the help of flag. Then symbol table is a dynamic table, that is we can insert, delete, search, like that. But your operations can be done on symbol table. That's about the symbol table, location counter and operation table or op tab. So these are the main data structures used: op tab, sim tab and location counter. So this will be used by the pass1 and pass2 during the assembly process. Okay.